Have you ever wondered how a microbe could bring nations to their knees? The answer lies in the mysterious origins of a disease known as anthrax. The story of anthrax is not a tale of the modern world, but rather, it's a narrative that stretches back into the mists of time. It's a disease that has left its deadly mark on human history. From the biblical plagues to the tombs of Egyptian mummies, evidence of anthrax has been found. This ancient microbe, scientifically known as Bacillus anthracis, has been silently lurking around humanity for thousands of years. The origins of anthrax, as we understand it today, are deeply intertwined with the rise of agriculture. As early humans began to domesticate animals, they unknowingly invited this deadly bacterium into their lives. Livestock became the perfect breeding ground for anthrax, and from there, it could easily make the jump to humans. In the days of old, understanding of the disease was shrouded in mystery. People noticed that their livestock would fall ill and die, often with terrifying speed. These deaths would be followed by human illness, particularly among those who had close contact with the affected animals. Yet the cause remained elusive, a phantom killer hidden in the very soil beneath their feet. As civilizations grew and science advanced, the veil of mystery began to lift. Yet it was not until the 19th century that the true nature of anthrax was revealed. French scientist Louis Pasteur, in a landmark study, identified Bacillus anthracis as the cause of the disease. This discovery was a significant step forward in understanding this deadly microbe, shedding light on the invisible enemy that had plagued humanity for centuries. From the dunes of Egypt to the modern world, anthrax has been a silent, lethal companion of humanity. Its story is a stark reminder of the power of microscopic organisms and their ability to shape our world. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of anthrax, we continue to unravel the complex relationship between humans and the microbes that live among us. As the world advanced, so did anthrax, lurking in the shadows of progress. The Industrial Age, a period of rapid development and urbanization, saw a surge in anthrax cases. This increase was particularly pronounced among workers in the wool and hide industries. The reason? Anthrax spores can survive for years in soil and dust, and they found a new home in factories where wool and hides were processed. Workers, often in close contact with these materials, were at risk of inhaling or ingesting the spores, leading to infection. Anthrax's grip on the Industrial Age was not just confined to factory floors, it also found its way into homes as tainted products made their way into the marketplace. Woolen goods, leather products, even brushes made of animal hair could potentially harbor the deadly spores. This was a time when anthrax wasn't just a concern for those working with livestock, but for the wider population too. In the late 19th century, a breakthrough in our understanding of anthrax came from an unlikely source, a country doctor named Robert Koch. Working in a makeshift lab in his apartment, Koch made a startling discovery. He was able to isolate the anthrax bacterium, Bacillus anthracis, and demonstrate its role in causing the disease. This was a turning point in the fight against anthrax. Koch's work didn't just establish the link between Bacillus anthracis and the disease, it also laid the groundwork for the germ theory of disease, which revolutionized medicine and public health. This theory, which states that specific diseases are caused by specific kinds of microorganisms, has shaped our understanding of infectious diseases and how they spread. Anthrax, once an enigma wrapped in rural folklore, had emerged from the shadows to become a recognized public health threat. It was no longer just a plague of shepherds and farmers. With the rise of the Industrial Age, anthrax had found a new hunting ground in the factories and homes of the rapidly urbanizing world. Anthrax, once a plague of shepherds and farmers, had found a new hunting ground in the factories of the Industrial Age. In the 20th century, anthrax found its way into the darkest corners of human intent: biological warfare. This grim chapter of anthrax's history begins in the throes of World War I. As nations clashed on the battlefields, they scrambled for every conceivable advantage, including the use of biological weapons. Anthrax was seen as a prime candidate due to its resilience and lethality. During the interwar period, several countries continued researching the potential of anthrax as a weapon. The United Kingdom, for instance, conducted the infamous Grunard Island experiment in the early 40s, where they tested the viability of anthrax spores as a bioweapon on a secluded island. The results were both impressive and terrifying, as the island remained contaminated for nearly 5 decades. The Cold War saw further escalation in biological warfare research. Both superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, maintained covert programs studying anthrax and other deadly pathogens. However, the Geneva Protocol of 1925 and the Biological Weapons Convention of 1972 ostensibly outlawed such activities, leading to the closure of many of these programs. Yet, anthrax as a weapon didn't fade into obscurity. It made a horrifying resurgence in 2001 with the anthrax attacks in the United States. Letters laced with anthrax spores were mailed to news media offices and the US Congress, resulting in 5 deaths and 17 infections. The incident demonstrated the potential of anthrax as a tool of terror, used not by nations but by individuals or groups with malicious intent. In the face of such threats, our understanding of anthrax has become a double-edged sword. On one hand, we've harnessed its deadly power for destructive purposes. On the other, this knowledge has driven advances in detection, treatment, and prevention, transforming anthrax from an unstoppable scourge into a manageable threat. The journey of anthrax has been a long and winding one, from natural disease to industrial hazard and finally, to a weapon of war and terror. Anthrax had transformed from a disease of the past into a terrifying weapon of the present. But humanity has never been one to bow down to threats, has it? It's in our nature to fight, to persevere, and against anthrax, it's been no different. The war against this deadly bacterium has been waged on multiple fronts, but none more important than the development of vaccines and treatment options. In the late 19th century, a brilliant scientist named Louis Pasteur stepped onto the battlefield. Known as the father of microbiology, Pasteur's work led to the creation of the first vaccine for anthrax, a significant leap forward in the fight against this disease. This vaccine, administered to livestock, proved to be a game-changer, significantly reducing the spread of the disease from animals to humans. But the work didn't stop there. Over the years, scientists have continued to refine and improve upon Pasteur's initial success. Today we have a human vaccine that provides immunity against anthrax and antibiotics that can treat the disease if caught early. In addition to vaccines and treatments, strategies for managing and preventing anthrax outbreaks have been developed. Health organizations worldwide work tirelessly to monitor areas prone to anthrax, implementing vaccination programs for livestock, and educating farmers on the signs and symptoms of the disease. In the event of an outbreak, quick response is crucial. Rapid identification and treatment of infected individuals, combined with containment measures, can significantly reduce the impact of an outbreak. Quarantine, disposal of infected animals, and decontamination of affected areas are all part of the response strategy. The fight against anthrax is a testament to the power of human resilience and scientific progress. It's a story of how we, as a species, have taken a deadly threat and turned it into a manageable disease. It's a reminder that no challenge is too great when we arm ourselves with knowledge and science. With knowledge and science as our weapons, we have turned the tide against anthrax. So, where does this leave us today in our battle against anthrax? Anthrax, a word that once sent chills down the spine of anyone who heard it, is now largely a specter of the past. In today's world, it's a rarity. Thanks to advancements in medicine and public health, instances of naturally occurring anthrax have dramatically decreased. However, the potential for misuse of this lethal bacteria is something that we can't ignore. The anthrax spores, resilient and capable of surviving in harsh conditions for decades, if not centuries, present a dual-edged sword. On one hand, it's a testament to the incredible survival mechanisms of life on Earth. On the other, it's a potential weapon in the wrong hands. In this era of biotechnology, we're seeing the advent of synthetic biology, the design and construction of new biological parts, devices, and systems. This incredible field holds the promise of significant breakthroughs in medicine, but it also presents a new set of challenges. As we develop the ability to manipulate life at the most fundamental levels, the risk of misuse grows. This brings us to the ongoing research and future prospects in the fight against anthrax. Scientists worldwide are working tirelessly to understand this ancient adversary better. From developing more effective vaccines to creating diagnostic tools that can detect anthrax in its earliest stages, we're making strides. There's also research into the use of bacteriophages, viruses that infect bacteria, to combat anthrax. These phages could potentially be the next big thing in our arsenal against bacterial diseases. However, the fight against anthrax is not just about the science. It's about cooperation between nations, about transparency and trust. It's about creating a world where the misuse of biology for harmful purposes is a thing of the past. As we stand on the brink of the future, anthrax serves as a stark reminder of our past and a challenge to our scientific prowess. As we move forward, let's remember that the story of anthrax is not just about a disease, it's a story about us, about our ability to learn, adapt, and overcome. Let's continue that journey.